Let's find a comfortable seat. Yeah, and you guys are there. And what I often like to do, we're not going to be here super long, but if your hips are tight, if the knees are kind of high, it can be nice to take the blocks under the shins or the thighs just for a little extra support. It also, a lot of times, so what happens when the knees are kind of hanging and hovering, you actually end up tightening the hips instead of giving them the opportunity to relax. So little support, you know, those little things, those little ways we can support ourselves is part of really letting our body grow in our practice. But go ahead and let's actually rub your hands together, especially since it's a little chilly. And you can rub them quite vigorously. And sometimes it's even nice to like really almost as if you were washing your hands, go along the back of the hands, feel into the fingers, and really get the heat building there. Yeah. And do that a few more times. And then once you feel that heat build, so two options. So if you're comfortable, you can cup your hands over the eyes or just take the hands to the heart, whatever's more comfortable for you. But it's that heat in the hands, just giving ourselves a pause with the eyes closed to let your focus shift, to start to give yourself this pause. So your whole focus shifts to just you, your body, and your breath here. Just take about 3 more breaths. Noticing if there's any sense of slowing down inside. Maybe you feel calmer. Maybe you feel the same. Maybe you feel more agitated. There's really no right, no wrong. The first step of this practice is just simply noticing your breath, noticing your body, noticing what happens when they start to reconnect. And then keep your eyes softly closed. Go ahead and lower the hands to the top of the thighs and just really feel into your seat for a moment. And you can even kind of lean side to side a little bit. You can rock forward and back a little bit. Just feel the bones of the seat. So the sit bones are the bony part of the seat where the top of the thigh meets the glutes. The part of that structure is also the pubic bone and the tailbone. Tailbone being the very bottom tip of the spine. And then find that center point where the weight is evenly distributed along your seat. With that, see if you can lengthen a little bit more through the crown of the head. So breathe in through the nose. Feel the inner body start to lengthen. Keep that space inside. Slowly exhale, letting the edges of the skin soften. 2 more breaths, just like that. Again, inhale, feel the inner body expand. Exhale, imagine the edges of the tension washing away with the breath. Again, 1 more, just like that. Inhale all the way. And then exhale, start to let it go. And then go ahead and very softly open your eyes and then change the cross of your legs. So take the opposite foot in front. So we're just shifting those patterns a little bit. And then hands can stay at the top of the thighs, and just now we'll start to make little circles. So feeling in the bones of the seat, just starting to make little circles, and you can work with the eyes closed or even slightly open, entirely up to you. And one of the things that I really wanted to invite us into our practice this morning is this act of non-doing. Non-doing, this idea of non-doing really being the art of being ourselves. And part of what we do with this practice, when we move our bodies, when we learn to breathe, we start to shift some of these old patterns so that we can come back again to this place of being as opposed to doing. Make circles in the other direction. Take your time with it. And that comes not just from the asana practice, the yoga postures that we do, but it also comes in other practices like pranayama, like the breath work, but also in things like meditation, where we're actually shifting the patterning of the mind. And then slowly come back to center. Pause here for a moment. Let the hips, the heart, the head all line up. Nice big breath. And then go ahead and open your eyes once more and come to tabletop. Come on to hands and knees. And when you come to hands and knees, have your wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And if you, a blanket is always a nice option for the knees if they're sensitive. But as we start, I'm actually going to have you bring the knees together. And then even here, start to make some circles through the hips and the shoulders. So we're working through those larger joints of the hips as well as the shoulders, getting a little bit of a warm up. And you can let it be as dynamic, as expressive, or as gentle as you choose. And then start to make circles in the other direction. And when we move, we get the sense of how physically we are designed to be in a place of connection, of the bones lining up, the muscles and the bones working together for movement. But it's so easy to forget that we are also wired to just be, to be effortless and receptive. And then come to neutral for a moment. And now take your right leg, actually straighten the right leg and just come onto the ball of your right foot for now. Yeah. And just take a moment to start to activate. So you can, without actually moving anything, press your hands down, even press the ball, the right foot down. And as the tailbone roots, will help the belly, help the core ignite as well. And now keep that, take your right leg up into a split. So the big toe will point down for right now. And then start to open it up. So the right big toe will turn out to the right, the hip will open to the right. And then squeeze the right knee towards the right shoulder. You can even look to the right and let the shoulder and the knee squeeze together. And then inhale, lengthen back into the split. But now this time, look to your left, keep the leg straight, tap the right foot all the way to the left, gently look to the left. We're going to do that 4 more times. So take the right leg up into a split. Exhale, squeeze right knee, right shoulder together. Inhale, lengthen, look to the left, tap to the left. And just keep moving with your breath. So do 3 more, making sure there's a bit of activation in the core. Even keep the foot flexed, still reaching through the ball of the foot so the muscles of the legs stay engaged. So we're moving slowly and the muscles are starting to warm up and heat up a bit. And now the next time that left foot comes all the way to, right foot all the way to the left, bend the right knee, little funky, so the outer shins are going to touch. Readjust your hands so the hips and the shoulders are back in alignment. And then start to lean the hips back. They may not go very far, but as I often like to do this with fingertips, but press the hands down and forward and really let the outer hips reach towards the wall behind you. Head can be heavy. Just getting a little bit more of a stretch Maybe it's along the outer hips. You might feel it somewhere else. Often the stretches go wherever we are tightest. And that's always a little different for each and every one of us. One more full breath. Inhale all the way through the nose. Exhale, completely let it go. And then rise back up to tabletop, uncross the legs. So wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. This time, tuck the toes under. Inhale, lift the heart to a cow stretch, so a little back bend. And then exhale, down dog. So lift the knees, move the hips up and back to down dog. Bend the knees as deeply as you choose, hands as wide as the shoulders, maybe a little wider. And as you press the hands down and forward, just lengthen for a moment. And then go ahead, come back to tabletop, lower the knees down, bring them to touch. And now we'll do that on the other side. Start on the ball of the left foot. So straighten the left leg, come to the ball of the foot. Press down, let the belly wrap back a little bit. So you're starting just to activate the core. And we're really working with an isometric action. So action without movement, finding that muscle bone connection. Keep the core engaged. Inhale, lift the left leg up. And then look to the left big toe will point out to the left, open the hip, and then squeeze left knee, left shoulder, look to the left. Inhale, lengthen back to the split, and then look to the right. Let the left foot tap all the way to the right. We're going to do 4 more of those, just moving at your pace. I like to squeeze on the exhale, knee to shoulder, and then lengthen on the inhale. And then just keep, again, working at your pace, working so the belly stays engaged, even so the glutes and the legs start to warm up as well. So you're building the heat internally here. And then the next time, I think that's 5, the left foot comes all the way to the right. Bend the knees so the outer shins touch, adjust the hands, fingertips if you choose, and then reach the hips on back. So the fingertips will press down and forward, let the outer hips reach back, and just long exhales. The longer the exhale, the deeper inhale we can find. But it's also those long exhales that actually start to shift the chemistry in the body, taking us to a calmer, more integrated state. Again, out of doing and just into being. And then rise through tabletop, uncross the legs, plant the palms down, inhale, lift the heart to cow, little back bend. Exhale, back to down dog, lift the knees, move the hips up and back. Take 3 more breaths here. Refine, find any little micro movements that you need. Ashley, your wrist can come a smidge wider. Yeah. Penny, turn your wrists out just a little bit. Yeah. And then take your time, walk your feet forward towards your hands, come into a fold. Bend the knees a little bit, and you can actually grab opposite elbows with the hands. We call this ragdoll sometimes. And just shift the weight forward and back, side to side a little bit. And then sometimes it's even nice as you rock side to side to kind of lengthen the waist side to side as well. Let the head go. Let gravity help you here as you lengthen through the spine, through the upper back, the neck, the tension of the head even releasing to gravity. And then come to center, release the hands down. Root the tailbone, slowly roll the spine up. Let the strength of the legs support you as you slowly rise. And then as you come up, take a couple circles of the shoulders back. And now I'm thinking I had to turn the heat up a little too high. Bring your feet together. And then reach the arms up and point the palms towards each other and really lift through the fingertips. And then go ahead and hold your left wrist with your right hand and then lean to the right. So crescent stretch to your right. And just start to find all these little contrasts within the movement. So squeeze the legs together, find that midline of strength, and then root to rise. Press the feet down, lengthen through the fingertips. And then inhale, reach on up, hold the right wrist this time. Again, inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, lean on over to your left. Then squeeze the legs together once more, root to rise. Soften the jaw. Soft through wherever you tend to hold tension. We all have those points of gripping. And then inhale, reach through center. Go ahead and take your hands to your heart. And now we're going to move through some lunge variations. So you can, to set yourselves up, I like to bring your blocks to the front of your mat. You may or may not want them. If your knees are sensitive, a blanket to the middle of the mat is really lovely. So you'd be standing in front of the blanket behind the blocks here. And then just take your hands to heart center. Feet can be hip width apart, so middle of the thigh bone, middle of the ankle lined up, or wider if you need more steadiness. And with the hands at the heart, take the gaze straight ahead on the horizon. Just see if you can intuitively find this balance in the body where the feet, the hips, the heart, and the head all line up. And even balance is this pulsation of opposites, again, of these contrasting movements in the body, helping us grow, helping us come to this next layer of ourselves. And as you press the feet down, inhale, take the arms wide and high, really lift up from the earth. And then exhale, fold all the way down. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Hands can come to the earth or your blocks. But now inhale, lift the spine halfway. Hands can come to the front of the shins so that the spine is parallel to the floor. So we're really using the core, using the legs up through the core. And then exhale, fold forehead towards the shins, hands again to the earth or your blocks. Press the feet down, inhale, reach all the way up, bend the knees as much as you need to so the low back stays long and strong. And then hands back to heart center. 2 more just like that. Press the feet down, inhale, rise. And then exhale, slowly fold all the way to the earth. Inhale, lift the spine halfway, think thigh bones back, core forward, and then fold. Press the floor away, inhale, reach all the way up, lift through the fingertips. And then hands back to heart center. 1 more just like that. Press the floor away, inhale, find even more space inside. Exhale, fold all the way down, forehead towards the shins. Inhale, lift the spine halfway. Exhale to bow. Press the feet down, inhale, reach all the way up through the fingertips. Hands back to heart center. And now we'll move on from here. Press the feet down, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, lift the spine halfway. And now from here, step to left foot back into a lunge. So left foot will come back. Walk the hands back with your blocks as you choose. So the hands are framing the front foot and they're under the shoulders. That's going to give you a little more stability for the upper body. And then squeeze the right hip, left inner thigh together. Find that muscle bone connection. And then as the belly tones, stretch the chest forward. Take the gaze ever so slightly forward. Keep that activation. Bend your left knee and let it hover 2 inches from the ground. So getting the leg quite strong, and then slowly straighten the legs, stretch the heart forward. We're going to do 4 more of those. So bend the left knee, let it hover around the spine, look down. And then inhale, straighten the leg, chest forward. 3 more. Exhale, round, hover the knee, belly back as you bow. And then inhale to lengthen. 2 more, moving with your breath, moving at your own pace, feeling all these connections from the feet, through the hips, the core, through the crown. And then go ahead and lower that left knee all the way to the earth. And actually point the foot for a moment. And as the top of that left foot presses down, just let the weight of the hips come forward. You can even take the gaze slightly up. So getting into that inner left thigh a little bit more that way. Yeah. And then slide the hips back a little bit. Take your right hand inside your right foot, maybe with or without blocks, your choice. But then heel toe the right foot just a little wider towards the outer edge of the mat. Yeah, so to the right a little bit. And then go ahead and tuck those left toes under, and we're gonna add a bit of movement to this. So for right now, just lean the hips forward, gaze and come slightly forward. We're gonna feel the inner right thigh a little bit more this way. And then slide the hips back, straighten your right leg, and we're gonna, so it's a wide runner stretch. So getting the right hamstring, inner right thigh a little bit more. Again, adjust the hands wherever works for you. We're gonna do that 4 more times. So as you inhale, come forward, heart can come forward. And then as you exhale, slide on back, bow on in. And just keep moving with the breath. Keep the right foot active. So keep the right foot flexed. You can even spread the toes a little bit. So you're just moving. So we're gonna get into the hips quite a bit. I don't think I actually said that. So in case you hadn't already figured that out. All right. And now, so the next time you come back into this runner stretch, and super important, keep the right foot active. And I'm just gonna switch myself around so you guys can see a little bit better what's going on here. So we're in this wide runner stretch. Keep the right foot active. And you're gonna start to turn your toes to your left. So the inner right thigh is gonna start to move back. You'll feel the inner thigh a little bit more. And then start to walk your hands to your left and come to the sole of that right foot. And this is gonna be super confusing for you. So walk your hands to your left. Big toe, ball of the foot to your left as well. So you're gonna pivot your whole body towards the window. Yeah. And even the outer edge of your right foot is gonna be parallel to the short edge of your mat. And then walk your hands, walk your left shin to the right 90 degrees. So your left foot's gonna point towards penny behind you. So notice how so your left shin is now parallel to the back edge of the mat, but the ball of the right foot's gonna stay on the ground. Yeah, towards your right though. So notice how my right foot is parallel to the short edge of the mat. I know you're like in the, there you go. There we go. You are in the most confusing spot to figure that out. No, you're fine. It's a little funky. Yeah, and then actually walk your hands to the left a little bit more so the hands are under the shoulders. So it's like you're in a very weird, yeah. So you're in a very weird tabletop, an asymmetrical tabletop, basically. And then, so root the tailbone, tone the belly, and then bring your spine upright, hands to the hips. Yeah. And you might need to find a little angle with that right foot so it's sealed to the earth. Root the tailbone, lift the chest up. Take your left arm along your left ear. And then side stretch, slide your right hand down your right leg as the left arm comes to the ear. Just make sure that there's no weight on the knee joint. So the hand is either above or below the joint. And then reach back up, hands to the hips. Again, a little funky. So you're gonna bend your right knee 90 degrees and the big toe is gonna come towards the front of your mat. You had it right the first time. There you go. And now, a little deeper, take your right elbow to the top of the right thigh, and then reach your left arm up along the ear. Yeah. Look down, make sure your right knee and your toes are lined up and you all look very lovely. And then you can stay here or actually take your right hand to the inside of your right foot. And this is when a block might come handy. Press the knee into the arm, arm into the knee. Use that activation. Get a little longer here. Take one more breath. And then slowly lower your left hand to the earth. So hands are inside that right foot. I know this is a little funky. Pivot your left shin behind you, coming back into a low lunge. And then find tabletop. Slide your right knee next to the left. Plant the hands. Inhale to cow, lift the heart. Exhale, back, down dog, lift the hips up and back. Notice if there's a difference from the right to the left side of the body. And just notice, does it feel the same? Does it feel different? What is yeah. Especially if you sit a lot. The hips love it. All right, walk your feet forward towards your hands. Come to a fold. Inhale, lift the spine halfway. Exhale, bow. Press the feet down. Inhale, reach all the way up, arms wide and high here. And then hands back to heart center. And now we're going to do the other side. So press the feet down. Inhale, reach on up. And then exhale, fold all the way to the earth. Inhale, lift the spine halfway. Step your right foot all the way back. And I'm going to actually switch to the back of the room so I can see what's going on with all of you. So left foot forward, right foot back. Hands under the shoulders, framing that front foot. And come to the ball of the back foot. And as you squeeze the left hip and the right inner thigh together, tone the belly, stretch forward. And now we're going to add that movement. So as you exhale, bend your right knee, let it hover 2 inches from the earth, bow down. And then as you inhale, straighten the leg, firm the thigh, stretch forward. And just keep moving. So again, exhale, bend the knee, round the spine. And then inhale, lengthen. And just keep moving. 3 more, as if you were moving through water, super connected, and just feeling the sensations, all these little movements in the body. And then go ahead, lower that right knee all the way to the earth. Point the foot and just use gravity, lean the hips forward, lift the chest, so that'll get to the inner right thigh a little bit more. And then slide the hips back a little bit. Take your left hand inside your left foot, and then heel the left toe to the outer edge of the mat. Squeeze the left hip, right inner thigh together. And then lean the hips forward a little bit, gaze forward. You might not go very far, that's okay. And then slide the hips back to the runner stretch. I like to actually scooch that right knee back a little bit more. So as I slide the hips back, the leg is straight, foot is flexed. Yeah, back knee down, yeah. We'll do that a few times. So inhale forward to a wide, low lunge. Exhale back to your runner stretch, bow in. 3 more, just moving with the breath. And nice and connected. And I will often do this with fingertips or even blocks just to give me that extra inch or two of space, because it just feels good. You listen. And now the next time you come back to runner stretch, this is where it gets a little funky. Again, keep that foot active. Keep reaching through the ball of the foot. And then the toes are going to turn in, left toes are going to turn to the right while the inner left thigh moves back. Start to walk your hands to your right, so to the long edge of the mat, and then pivot. Right shin is going to come behind you as the sole of the left foot comes to the earth. And you can slide the foot forward a little bit so that ankle and the hip joint are lined up. Yeah, most of you are there already. Press firmly through the bones of the legs, tone the belly. You can lengthen forward. Keep that, bring the spine upright, hands to the hips. And you might need to find an angle in that left foot. Make sure there's a firm seal of the sole of the foot. Inhale, reach your right arm up. Slide your left hand down your left leg, again, thigh or shin. And just lengthen that right side, root the tailbone, let the right side body get long. And then inhale, reach up, hands to your hips. Bend the left knee, this time point it wide, so left big toe towards the front edge of the mat. And now take your left elbow to the top of the left thigh. Right arm can reach up along the ear. And then if you choose, stay here, or you can even slide that left hand inside the leg. Block might come in handy for this. Press the thigh into the arm into the thigh. Use the power of that connection to lengthen and make space. To feel this power of non-doing, of just being in the sensation. And then to come out, lower the right hand to the earth, so hands inside that left foot. Pivot the right shin behind you, slide to tabletop, so left knee next to the right. Inhale, lift the heart to cow, so little back bend. And then exhale, down dog, tuck the toes, move the hips up and back, get long inside. And now from here, inhale, come forward to plank, top of a push-up, hips in line with the shoulders. Find the contrast, press the floor away, wrap the navel back. Stay here, knees can come down first, and then we will all lower onto the belly, keep the elbows hugging in, core strong. And then come to Sphinx pose. So your elbows are actually going to come under your shoulders here. And I'm actually gonna move my blanket out to the side. Some of you might be comfortable with it under the hips. Point your feet for right now. And then bring the feet as close together as you can. We're gonna do a couple Sphinx roll-ups. So elbows under the shoulders, so the upper arms are actually straight up and down. So yeah, Penny, bring your elbows in and then chest up. Yeah, there you go. You could probably bring your elbows in and forward a little bit more. So yeah, okay. And then, so just working the contrast. So press the hands and the feet down. And then as the tailbone roots down, just lift the low ribs up. So gaze is down towards the navel. The upper back will round as the navel wraps back. And then lower the ribs, lift the chest. We're going to add to that a little bit. Again, press down, root the tailbone down, keep the contrast, lift the low ribs. Lift the navel, even lift the hips up here. So again, finding that core engagement. And then lower the hips, the navel, the low ribs. And now maybe we'll add to that, you can tuck your toes under. If you feel like you need more stability in the upper body, you can actually interlace your hands. And we might come to a forearm plank. We're just gonna feel and see how it goes. Root the tailbone, lift the low ribs, the navel, the hips, maybe even the thighs this time. Maybe lift the knees to forearm plank. Again, press down, belly back, work those contrasts, stay steady with your breathing. One more moment, feeling the power of the inner body. And then lower the knees, the hips, the thighs, the low ribs, lift the heart. Take your arms wide into a T. We're going to get into the shoulders just a little bit. So palms down, hands in line with the shoulders. Rest your right ear onto the ground. And then bend your left elbow. So the left hand will come under the left shoulder and the left elbow will point up. Keep reaching that right arm out to the right. Roll over onto your right side so the hips and the shoulders stack. Tuck the chin in a bit if you choose. If the low back needs a little more support, bring the knees closer in towards your chest. Some people like to point the left knee up so the foot comes behind them. Find the contrast. Press the left hand down so as the left shoulder blade slides towards the spine, that right arm can reach out a little wider. Stay here or reach your left arm up, point the palm behind you, take the hand to the low back. Wherever you are, we're going to take 3 steady breaths here. Inhale fully through the nose. Exhale completely out through the nose. 2 more just like that. In sensing the breath, notice how the breath brings you into the sensation of the pose. And then as you inhale, come on out, arms wide into that T position. This time, rest your left ear down. Bend the right elbow, so right elbow will point up, right hand under the shoulder. And then reach out to your left, roll over to your left side, stack the hips and the shoulders. Again, bend the knees as much as you need to for your low back. Stay here or point the right knee up, right foot can come behind you. Find the contrast. So again, right hand will press down, inviting that right shoulder blade back. So there's a sense of a maybe deeper opening in the left side of the chest. Stay here, right arm can reach up, palm behind you, take the hand to the low back. Tuck the chin into the chest if there's any tension in the neck. 3 breaths right here, nice and steady. Inhale, let the collarbones broaden. Keep that space as you exhale, soften the edges. And 2 more, just like that. And then on your next inhale, roll back over onto your belly, arms wide, forehead to the earth to neutralize the spine. Slide your hands under the shoulders, elbows up. Once more, point the feet. But now squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze the inner edges of the feet together. Lift the legs up first. So tailbone down, lift the legs. And now like a boat, we'll come to cobra. Press the hands down, and as the legs lower to the earth, lift the chest. Nice, strong cobra pose. Elbows will actually stay bent. Squeeze the elbows in so the stretch stays in the chest. And then release. Press to tabletop, hands and knees. Tuck your toes under. Downward facing dog. Nice big breath. Again, press the hands down and forward. Really reach the thigh bones back so you're tractioning the lower spine. And then walk your feet forward to your hands, come to fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, bow. Press the feet down. Inhale, reach all the way up, arms wide and high. And then hands back to the heart. And actually step towards the back of your mat, and you are all there already. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm gonna keep facing this way. So we're gonna do a little standing sequence. We're gonna kind of play with moving from the front to pivoting to the back of the mat. We'll do it together. Just know, again, we're gonna be switching a little differently. And yes, your brain is probably gonna play tricks on you a little bit, but that's part of the building new patterns, right? Hands to the hips, elbows back. Really press firmly through the legs, and as the chest lifts, squeeze the elbows together. Find the broadening of the collarbones. Your hands may stay here or interlace them behind you. So elbows squeeze back, press the fist down, tailbone down, lift the heart. And now bend your knees as deeply as you can. And this is where my ankle injury comes to play. Get your hips lower than I can. So get them as low as you can. And then step your right foot forward. And you're going to come into a little lunge variation. So as the weight comes forward into the right foot, just balance on the ball of that left foot. Keep the belly tone, gaze forward. And then slowly, as the torso comes forward, maybe lift that left leg parallel to the floor. Yeah, nice and steady. And this, of course, this is my injured side, so I'm not balancing very great here, but hold steady. Any variation, foot down, leg up, your choice. And then slowly keep the bind, step that left foot back, take the arms, release the arms, back heel will lower down, bend your right knee for warrior two. So you hips are, yeah, right foot forward, there you go. And now straighten your right leg, take your right toes in, so the feet are parallel to each other. And then turn your left toes out. So now you're in warrior two towards the back of your mat. Take the arms wide. Press firmly through the feet, lift through the heart. And now side angle, take your left elbow to the top of your left thigh. Right arm can reach straight up to the sky. Again, press the floor away. Even press the elbow into the thigh, reach that right arm straight up. See if you can open, broaden through the hips, through the heart even. And then press the floor away, rise back to warrior two, arms wide. And then straighten your left leg, hands to the hips. Turn the left toes back in so the feet are parallel. Lift the chest, firm the thighs. Arms will come wide and high, palms can even touch. And then slowly exhale, fold all the way down, hands to the earth. So you're in a wide leg fold here. Press firmly through the feet. Even as you press the hands down and back, stretch your chest forward. If you choose, you can even walk your hands forward so the upper body comes almost in a down dog, but the lower body will stay as it is. One more full breath here. And then walk your hands back under the shoulders. Heel toe your feet together. Inhale, lift the spine halfway. Exhale, bow. Press the feet down. Inhale, reach all the way up, arms wide and high. And then hands back to heart center. Once more, come to the back of your mat. Feet as close together as you can, hands to the hips. So other side, press the feet down, lift the heart. Stay here or interlace the hands behind you. Take the opposite clasp of the hand so it feels a little funky. Bend your knees for chair. Again, get the hips as low as you can. Root the tailbone, navel in and up. And now you're going to step that left foot forward to the middle of your mat. And then as you bend the knee, kind of lean forward. So you're in kind of a weird high lunge here. Squeeze left hip, right inner thigh. And just feel almost like a seesaw as the torso lowers. Maybe stay here or lift that right leg parallel to the floor. Squeeze left hip, right inner thigh together. Tone the belly nice and strong. Gaze slightly forward. And then slowly step that right foot back to where it was. Release the bind. Hands can be at the hips. Back heel down, warrior two, so hips and shoulders are open. And then straighten that left leg. Turn the left toes in so the feet are parallel. And then turn the right toes out 90 degrees. Bend the knee, and now warrior two towards the back of your mat. Penny, bring your left foot in a little bit more. And Mary, do the same thing. So just the ball of the foot can come in. Yeah. And then arms wide. And press down, lift the chest. And now side angle pose. So right elbow will come to the top of the right thigh. Reach your left arm straight up. And as you press evenly through the legs, even press the elbow into the thigh, use that, reach the left arm a little higher to the sky. One more full breath. Press the floor away, rise once more, hands to the hips. Bring the right toes in so the feet are parallel. Press the feet down, inhale, arms wide and high, reach all the way up. And then exhale, hands to the earth, so hands under the shoulders. Little different this time. So fingertips or blocks as you choose. This time, bring your heels in and your toes out. So the lower body comes into this goddess squat. Sometimes we call it horse stance. So knees will point wide in line with the toes. And you're getting the hips low. You can even lean back a little bit. So getting everybody feeling the inner thighs a little more that way. Okay. Once more, press evenly through the feet, knees wide, tailbone down. Stay here, or with a very strong belly, take the arms wide into a T, as if you could take a little flight. Again, hips low, knees wide. One more nice, full, steady breath. And then hands to the earth. Bring the toes in. Take your time, heel toe your feet about hip width apart as feels steady for you. Long exhale, pressing evenly through the feet. Inhale, extend the heart forward halfway. Exhale, bow. Press the feet down. Inhale, reach the arms wide and high, reach all the way up. And then hands to heart center. Come to face the front of your mat. And we'll start to quiet things down a bit. Press the feet down. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then exhale, fold all the way to the earth. Inhale, lift the heart halfway. Place your hands, step back to down dog. Really just as a transition, walk the feet back. Lower the knees to tabletop. And then take your time, come to lay on your back, but set yourself up for bridge pose. So you'll lay on your back with the knees bent and bring the feet as close to the hips as you can. If your low back is tender, a block between the thighs is lovely. The legs govern the health of the low back. So block just helps to stabilize if you need it. And then bring your arms alongside your torso, point the palms in. Make sure the heels are as close to your sit bones as you can get them, so the feet are hip width apart. And then bend your elbows 90 degrees, keep the palms pointing in. So sometimes we'll call it robot arms when the elbows are right alongside the ribs here. And we'll come into bridge, we'll come into a back bend. We'll take it in stages. First and foremost, breathe, inhale, find that inner space of the body. And then as you exhale, press the feet, elbows, shoulders, even the head down, lift the hips up. You are welcome to stay here or grip the outer edges of your mat with your hands. Pull the mat towards your face one at a time. Bring your shoulders in towards your spine. And press down through the inner edges of the feet. Lift the tailbone. Think of the navel moving in and up. So the back bend is in the upper chest. The low back is stable and strong. One more nice breath here. And then slowly lower the hips on down. Take the feet wider than the hips, let the knees touch, and then even the arms can come wide. Gently rock your knees to the left and to the right. And then come to center so the knees point up. And then go ahead and hug your right knee into your chest. And just for a moment, draw the right knee in. And then start to take it wide towards your armpit. And we're going to come into a half happy baby. So you're welcome to stay here with the knee coming wide, or take your right elbow inside the right knee and grab the pinky side of the right foot with the right hand. The sole of the foot will point up, so the shin is straight up and down, vertical to the earth. And again, the knee can come wide. Find that muscle bone connection, press the hand to the foot, foot to the hand. If you want an added little bonus, let your left knee drop out wide to the side, coming to the outer edge, the pinky side of that left foot. So we're in a half happy baby on the right, and maybe a half butterfly or Baddha Konasana on the left. Notice so the tendency is to lean to the right. We want to keep the hips level to the earth. So imagine the navel drawing in and to the left just enough to keep the hips stable. One more nice big breath here. And then sole of the left foot will come to the ground so the knee points up. Cross the right ankle to the top of the left thigh. So the right leg is in this figure 4 variation. Take your arms wide. So this can be a little funky, so just listen. So your legs, your right leg is your legs are basically gonna stay where they are, and we're just gonna rotate it. So press your left foot down, slide your hips to the right a couple inches, and then rotate to your left. So you come to your outer left hip. So the right foot will come to the earth and the right knee will point up towards the sky. But the legs are still in that same figure 4 variation. And now we're getting a twist and opening the hip a little bit, the outer right hip. If it's available, take your left hand to the top of your right foot and point the knee behind you. Penny, how does it feel when you slide the hips all the way to the right so you can come to the outer left hip a little bit more? Does that feel less funky? Okay, good. And we'll stay here for 3 breaths. You can look up or to your right as you choose. But just imagine, again, that right knee gently reaching away from you so you really get the outer seam of the right thigh, the hip, maybe even the low back. Take 3 more breaths here. Just imagine the tension melting away. And whatever patterns you may have in the body, the heart, even the mind. Imagine all this new muscle memory starting to build to reroute these old patterns. And now on your next inhale, slowly rotate back. So slide the legs, unwind the legs, come back. So soles of the feet to the earth. Line up the hips, the heart, and the head. You can even rock the knees left and right. And here, notice, what are the asymmetries? Do you feel the same? Do you feel more open? Do you feel tighter? Again, just noticing is where the practice begins. Noticing that you are noticing is a step of awareness. And then point your knees up, Hug your left knee into your chest. And then just feel the knee drawing into the heart. And then start to take it wide, so the knee is going to start to reach towards your left armpit, outer left shoulder. Again, you are welcome to stay here or half happy baby. So the elbow will come inside the knee, grab the pinky side of the foot with the hand, and then point the sole of the foot up. And then someday, slowly, that shin will come vertical to the earth. And gently press the hand into the foot into the hand, just to kind of refine. And then if you choose, you can bring that right knee out wide, coming to the outer edge of the foot. Notice if you're leaning to the left, as you exhale, draw the navel in and to the right to help stabilize the pelvis here. And breathing. Relax the jaw, soften the tongue. And just stay with the sensations, whatever they may be. And then come to the sole of that right foot, point the knee up. Take the left ankle to the top of that right thigh, just above the knee there. And of course, you're always welcome to stay here, so first we want to slide the hips to really make space for the twist. So press the right foot down. You can even lift the hips up and slide them over to the left. And then once the hips lower, rotate to your right. So again, you're still in that figure four, knee will point up, so the foot will come to the earth. You can take your right hand to the top of that left foot. So as the left foot presses down, the knee will reach away from you, and just feel that side seam of your body. Look up or to your left here. One more full breath. And then take your time as you inhale, rotate back, uncross the legs, line things up, so slide the hips in line with the head, and now hug both knees into your chest. Keep the knees together for right now. You can make little circles with the knees if that feels good on your lower spine. And then as you come to center, really hug the knees in, maybe even lift the forehead to the knees. Hug everything into center so you can activate every single muscle. Find this deep connection of muscle to bone, drawing everything in all the way. Get one more big hug in, and then let it all go. Release into Shavasana, your final relaxation. So knees bent or legs straight if you prefer. Find any little micro movements that you need to rest. Some people prefer to rest on their side. Some people prefer a quiet seat. You choose. And if your mind is very active, count your breath here. So breathe in for a count of 4, and then exhale for a count of 4. Become aware of this place where the body ends and the breath around it begins, guiding you to the soft awareness of non-doing and just being. There's soft awareness even starting to guide you beyond the body, beyond the mind, into this place of deep relaxation, totally effortless. Love your breath. Stay in this place of soft sensation inside. And then moving as gently as possible, draw your knees to your chest. Again, keeping this sweetness within you, roll over to your side and slowly lift yourself to a comfortable seat. And then when you come to sit, take your left hand to your heart, your right hand over your left, and just bow here for a moment. 3 full deep breaths is all it takes to shift our neuronal patterns, to take us out of these more heightened stress responses into these deep healing states of the parasympathetic nervous system. And when we give ourselves this pause, when we start to find these places of active relaxation, meditation, pranayama, yoga nidra, shavasana, whatever your gateway is into these deeper states, we shift our patterns neurologically, physiologically, emotionally as well. And all it takes, it can begin just with 3 breaths. Place your palms together in front of your heart, Anjali Mudra, prayer position. And just take a moment once more of gratitude. This gratitude of just being, the art of non-doing, where our doing is simply becomes that of being. So much gratitude. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you. Any questions, let me know. Thank you. Mm.